let's take just a few minutes to honor two very extraordinary people who have made just outstanding contributions to helping our 6 million California students in reading and those who are the recipients of this year's California Reading Hero Award. So every year we honor two people, an educator, which is always important because educators never get enough recognition, and also a reading advocate, because as we've seen today, this work takes a village, right? And we have many partners and advocates who work together to get it done. So I'm really thrilled to introduce our first honoree, State Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio. Assemblywoman Rubio was the original sponsor of AB 1454, our new California reading bill, which was passed unanimously by the legislature and signed into law by Governor Newsom earlier this month. This new bill is a landmark event for California reading, and it brings improvements in both teacher development and instructional materials that we've been missing for many years. And not surprisingly, Assemblywoman Rubio started her career as an educator. I don't know if you know that. She was a teacher and a school board member, and so she knew firsthand the needs of schools, teachers, and students. And the success of the reading bill did not come easy. It was the result of over 2 years of difficult political work, including rejection, outright rejection, the first time around in 2024. But she was not deterred, and she came back in 2025 with a new version that ended up winning the support of virtually all of our stakeholders, as well as her own colleagues. So we thank Assemblywoman Rubio for her incredible hard work, dedication, and grit in the support of our students and teachers with the reading instruction that they need, and congratulate her for this amazing work. She's out of the country, y'all, so she couldn't be with us. She was so sad. She's actually on the plane going out of the country right now, and so that's why she couldn't be here in person with us, but she did send us a video. So let's take a look at what Assemblywoman Rubio would like to say about her Reading Hero Award.
Hello everyone, I'm Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio and proudly represent California's 48th Assembly District. I am the oldest of 5 children. I was undocumented, deported, and had to fight my way through school systems that were not built to support people like me. I worked hard and was lucky enough to pick up English and the whole school thing pretty well. My self-belief certainly helped me. Despite obstacles, I kept going. I was even told by my high school counselor that the only thing I was good for was to get pregnant. 3 degrees and many careers later, I became a teacher. I taught in Fontana Unified School District for over 20 years. I got to see my students learn, grow, and thrive. Teaching was life-changing for me. It was an experience where I got a close-up of the children in my community, where I saw their gifts and I saw their struggles. The things I learned from teaching helped me build an understanding of the problems our students face and give me an edge when it comes to finding solutions for those problems. Now, as an Assemblywoman, I have the unique opportunity to continue to help all children in California with their education and beyond. Over the years, I've introduced several pieces of legislation aimed at helping students, especially those who face barriers due to limited resources or opportunities. Today, I want to highlight a bill that's particularly close to my heart, AB 1454. AB 1454 will ensure educators are equipped with the tools necessary to foster student confidence and success in reading by updating instructional materials and ensuring training incorporates evidence-based instructional strategies in literacy. With the passage of this bill, we are taking a critical step towards getting our students back on track in reading and academic achievement. This legislation is about changing the trajectory, ensuring that every child receives the support they need to succeed. For too long, especially in elementary and middle school classrooms, too many students have gone without targeted, high-quality instruction they need in reading, English language development, and language arts. And it shows. We are ranked 33rd nationally in 4th grade reading proficiency, which is just unacceptable and something that can't be put off any longer. This bill will help give students who are struggling the most a fair shot at success, and it will provide our teachers with the tools they need to successfully teach reading. As a mother, I want my children to get the best education they can. As a legislator, I want that for all of the kids in California. I am extremely proud of the legislation and want to thank Speaker Rivas for his dedication to the bill, as well as the hundreds and hundreds of advocates who never gave up on this cause. If we want our children to grow and thrive, we must take action to make it possible. Feeling confident in themselves, knowing how to read, and feeling excited about learning is the best foundation we can give them. We are making that a reality with AB 1454. I will continue to advocate for our students throughout my time as an Assemblywoman, and I watch with pride as they continue to progress through their education and programs, helping them accomplish all they want to do academically. Thank you for allowing me to speak at the California Reading Summit today, and thank you for honoring me with the Reading Hero Award. It has been the honor of my life to serve the people of California, and I will continue to advocate for change until my last day here. Change is possible. We make it happen with every choice, every day. Thank you.
Oh, I love her. You applause. Okay, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I love Assemblywoman Rubio. I got to meet her when we had a lobbying day for this bill up in Sacramento. And she was so excited to see this work moving along. And, we kind of look at these political leaders like they don't have a literacy pass themselves. And getting to know Assemblywoman Rubio, her story and her passion for this work was really a highlight for me. And the work that she has done across this for our state is just incredible. So she was very sad she couldn't be with us because she really takes pride in this work as a former educator herself. But now we're going to move along and go on to our next Reading Hero Award. And this is for an educator who has gone above and beyond in the work of structured literacy. And this is a person that I'm sure many people on this call know. So to introduce our next reading hero is a principal at Nystrom Elementary in West Contra Costa Unified. He's been a leader in bringing the science of reading to high needs students, and he knows our honoree very well, as he will explain to you. So let me hand it over to Jamie Allardyce, principal of Nystrom Elementary. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Leslie, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be here introducing Margaret Goldberg. Like many of you, I was first introduced to her years ago through her writing and various podcasts. I quickly became a fanboy just for her ability to explain the nuances of reading instruction from the perspective of a teacher. In addition to her impressive understanding of the research, she leads with the humility of a classroom teacher trying to do right by kids. In 2021 or 2020-2021 school year, our school became part of the Early Literacy Support Block Grant, and we participated in a lot of professional developments on Zoom, led by Margaret. Those PDs were really a catalyst for a lot of change at our school. We had a team eager to take what we learned and put them into action and bring them to our entire staff. And as we got closer to that following year in 2021-22, we were looking to hire a literacy coach. I found myself in a rather enviable position. Margaret was interviewing me, not vice versa. It was very clear who was running the show here. And she was trying to find out if she would be a good fit to be the literacy coach at our school. And I had been at a school for probably 5 or 6 years at this point, so fairly experienced as a principal, but had no idea how to teach literacy. I couldn't tell you the difference between a long A or a short A, let alone what a schwa was. Somehow, despite all of that, I passed the hiring process, and she became our literacy coach, and she's still here today. Over the course of the last 4, going on our 5th year working together, she has really transformed how we teach kids to read at Nystrom. And she's even coached me on how to teach foundational skills. I may have been her hardest case study. I was definitely a child of whole language growing up, and I needed a lot of coaching. But more than that, she moved us beyond just thinking about teaching reading through the lens of a curriculum and taught us the evidence behind what we do and why we do it. I could go on and on talking about the instructional changes she has spearheaded at our school from implementing Walk to Read to some research to practice partnerships and so on. But she has also changed how I think of my own role as principal. I used to see my job as creating the conditions for someone like her to work with our teachers, essentially clearing the path so that she could do her thing. Margaret helped me understand that that wasn't enough. I needed to learn alongside our teachers to understand the instruction, to learn how to
Hello,
analyze the
everyone.
data. The success of our literacy work, even with a unicorn coach like Margaret, hinged on me being an active instructional leader alongside her. Margaret is humble, even as she tenaciously advocates for what students need. Everything she does, not just in her work, but in her life, is centered on helping kids learn to read. So I'm honored to introduce her and to celebrate her. I've learned a ton from her, as many of you probably have, and look forward to continue learning from her. So congratulations, Margaret.
So you just missed the opportunity to roast me? Really? I guess I'm gonna roast myself, Jamie. Um, I was actually told before that I'm the generic teacher, like someone who's going to remain nameless for his own safety. Once told me that I'm like the teacher from Central Casting. And I totally took offense to that because I own 0 holiday sweaters. But I've actually come to embrace the ways in which I'm just like every teacher. I love my students. I want to be the best teacher I can be. I care about getting along with my colleagues, and I'm constantly trying to learn. But for me, my learning process, it's been more public than I ever meant for it to be. I'm actually really shy. I'm a big introvert. But in 2019, when Emily Hanford talked to me about the podcast that eventually became At a Loss for Words, I remember telling her, I don't want to be known as the teacher who failed to teach kids to read. And I was a little bit worried about my own image, but more than that, I didn't want to contribute in any way to public teacher bashing or to cause turmoil in the district where I was working, where I felt we were really making progress. But around that time, I came upon this quote from Dr. Stephen Dykstra, and I've kept it at my desk now for years. I'm going to share it with you. It says, I think facts and information are our only tools, and we must wield them carefully. We should not be afraid to call out the failures and injustice we see. Too much decision-making is driven by the delicate feelings of adults who, however hardworking and well-intentioned, have protected their colleagues and friends over the interests of our most vulnerable children in order to avoid the shame and discomfort of admitting that we were wrong. This must end. Any other results would be immoral. And so I decided to speak up, and I keep speaking up because I believe that we can do better than we are. And that's what keeps me motivated to keep going, to be transparent about what I'm learning and what I'm unlearning. Emily Hanford attempted to reassure me by saying, you won't be the teacher who failed. You'll be the teacher who figured out things weren't working and who did something about it. And the things that I've done about it are actually things that we can all do together every day. We can ask questions of experts, like we're doing in a conference like this. We can be willing to change practice in light of new evidence, like we will after leaving this event, based on the things we've learned. We can use data to guide our decision-making. We can be honest about what's working for us and for our students and what isn't working and needs to be changed. And we can share what we're learning with our colleagues. These seem like really little things, but I've learned that the key is these little things and consistency, continuing to do them on and on for years. I feel like sometimes progress is just extraordinarily slow. I get frustrated sometimes with how long it takes to make change in a big educational system. It's been a decade since I discovered the problems with balanced literacy, and it's been over 25 years since Dr. Louisa Moats published Whole Language Lives On, The Illusion of Balanced Reading Instruction. But some people are just now hearing the message. It's important, our coalition is growing. And I feel like the theme of this conference, the moving the needle in student success, is actually really starting to happen. We have AB 1454, which just passed and is going to bring us teacher training and improved instructional materials, I hope. And as of this year, California is starting to collect early literacy data. So we'll be able to see the schools and the classrooms that are changing the trajectories for our students. And when we find the teachers who are getting reading right, my hope is that policy and resources are going to focus on scaling those efforts so that all children can learn how to read.
Margaret. Yeah, and that applause is not even enough for our two reading heroes for this year. The work they have done is just incredible. And so, and I'm love reading all the comments in the chat to both of our award winners today. So grateful for you. Yes, Erin, grateful for your work and your passion and your advocacy and everything that you do every day. I started to write down your quote, Margaret, around the delicate feelings of adults. That's exactly it. We have got to stop worrying about the delicate feelings of adults and worry about the achievement of our kids and what we need to do for them. So thank you for that. I was excited by that quote.